Greetings, everybody. Had this question in the JumpCloud Slack, the API channel. What's the best way to audit and/or alert admins when the user hasn't logged into their JumpCloud bound device in over 30 days? And again, the question is how to, is that possible to get that through stats, alerts, the JumpCloud admin, and it's not currently. As I brought this up in the past, I mentioned maybe it would be coming in the future. Again, feature requests all day long. But here's my approach to it. And this looks a little crazy, and that's because it is. The centerpiece is this Directory Insights module that's just hitting the Directory Insights API, but it's using the count events endpoint in order to build this out. And all that count events does is using filter criteria. It just returns a number for how many they are, and so it's relatively fast, uses a pretty low data if all you need is a count. The downside of this is, depending on what you're trying to count, building your search term can be a little bit complex. I can make another video about it, but there's a way to kind of inspect the Directory Insights part of JumpCloud and to build your filter criteria there, and then you can kind of look in the background to see what it's using, and you can pull it out, pull out the JSON there. Again, sounds crazy, but it's fine. So here is what that search term looks like, just a portion of the request we need to make, and you can see here I've got username and display name and a bunch of other information to build it out here. Again, if I was to do this one from scratch, building it, I would have built it much simpler, but this is the way that JumpCloud builds that in the background, and I figure they probably know better than I do. So just make a sample query, a sample filter inside of the website, and then pull that out from the back end, and then we drop that in here. And again, we will need to update the username and display name from there. I just use find and replace to do that. But we have to get crazy with it because we need to loop through all systems that we have, and then we need to loop through all bound users to that system, and then we need to count the number of records that it finds based on our search criteria. And then we need to aggregate that all together and dump it into something. So that could be a ticketing platform. I do these bulk API calls to Google Sheets just for an easy audit, easy report. It's operationally light because it can push a huge amount of data in just 2 requests. And this one's just clearing it out, and this one's actually doing the bulk data. But as a quick sample, here's what it would look like in the end. Again, nothing outrageously beautiful, but here would be the system name, the user on that system, and then if they show up on this at all, how I have it filtered is just to show me 0, that they haven't had any system login attempts, this user on that system in the past 30 days. You could bump it up and do 90, which is what we normally do because that's the limit of Directory Insights currently, but that's how you can approach it. And again, you can format that data in a number of different ways, but this is a quick and easy one. I just threw this together. We have something a little bit different elsewhere, and our normal method would be to pump this into a ticket and then have that assigned and get that reviewed from time to time, just to make sure we're following up with what needs to happen. Now, you could very well, if you had a hard policy, skip the manual review part and automatically unbind those users from a system, but that's not what we're after at the current moment, though that would be pretty easy to build in. You just need to be really careful with your filter logic there and how you go about building that. But again, these two are pretty easy. It's just the logic that's a part of this one that can be pretty difficult. But again, happy to make another video of how to pull and get that from JumpCloud. But again, I'm also happy just to include, not that one, but the other screenshot that's somewhere that shows what that is if somebody wants to rebuild this exact scenario. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Oh, and I might as well let it run once while we're in here. Again, I've got filters at just 15 systems and then a few others just to make sure it's not pushing through data that I want. So again, if you had 500, 1,000 systems, that's going to take longer to run. And again, inside of Make, it's a little bit operationally expensive, but not really. You know, again, if you were running this daily, it would add up pretty quick depending on the scale that you're at. And we have a lot of systems with 5 to 10 users or something on it as well. So for us in particular, can climb up there. So, but if you're in it once a week, once a month, something like that, it wouldn't be too bad. All right, everybody, thanks.